You've spent your whole life waiting to be chosen, to be seen, to be loved the way you love others. But here's the thing nobody talks about. The moment someone finally does show up, your chest tightens, your mind races. Every instinct screams that this is temporary, that they'll leave, that you're not enough. And so you do the only thing that makes sense. You push them away before they can hurt you. Does that sound familiar? Let me tell you about someone I know. Every time things start going well in a relationship, they find a reason to end it. Not because they don't care, but because they care too much. The silence after a fight used to feel normal. But kindness feels dangerous. Because kindness means they're paying attention. And if they're paying attention, they'll eventually see the truth, that you're broken, that you're too much, that you're not worth the effort. So you test them. You pick fights over small things. You disappear for days. You say things you don't mean, just to see if they'll stay. And when they do stay, it terrifies you even more. Here's what's really happening. Your nervous system learned a long time ago that love equals pain, that closeness equals abandonment, that the people who are supposed to care for you are the same ones who will hurt you the deepest. Maybe it was a parent who was physically there, but emotionally absent. Maybe it was someone who only noticed you when you were achieving something, never just for being you. Maybe you learned that your needs were too much, that your feelings were inconvenient, that taking up space was selfish. So you became invisible, or you became perfect, or you became the caretaker, the listener, the one who holds everyone else together while falling apart yourself. And now, when someone actually sees you, actually chooses you, actually stays, your body doesn't know what to do with it, because this isn't how love is supposed to feel. Love is supposed to be earned. Love is supposed to be uncertain. Love is supposed to hurt a little. But this safety, this consistency, this unconditional presence, this feels wrong. Take a moment and think about this. When was the last time someone showed up for you, and instead of feeling grateful, you felt suspicious? When did kindness make you uncomfortable instead of relieved? Here's the truth that nobody wants to admit. You don't just attract the wrong people, you also reject the right ones. Not because you're broken, but because you're protecting yourself from a pain you already know too well. Your brain is wired to seek familiarity, not happiness. And if your familiarity is chaos, then peace will always feel like a threat. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're walking through a dark forest at night. You've done it 1,000 times. You know where the roots are, where the branches hang low, where the ground is unstable. It's scary, but it's predictable. You know how to survive here. Now, imagine someone hands you a flashlight and says, "I'll walk with you. You don't have to do this alone." Your first instinct isn't relief, it's panic. Because now you're visible. Now someone can see how lost you really are. Now you have something to lose. This is what happens when someone finally shows up. You're not pushing them away because you don't want them. You're pushing them away because you're terrified of losing them. And losing them would destroy you more than never having them at all. Think about the last relationship that ended. Not the toxic one, but the good one. The one where they were patient, where they listened, where they tried. What did you do in those final weeks? Did you find flaws that weren't there? Did you convince yourself they'd eventually leave? Did you sabotage it before they could see the real you? I want you to pause here and really sit with this. What would it feel like to be loved without having to earn it? Without having to prove your worth? Without having to perform or achieve or shrink yourself to fit? If that question makes you uncomfortable, that's your answer. That discomfort is the wound. Here's what happened. Somewhere along the way, you learned that love is conditional, that you have to be useful to be valued, that you have to be easy to be kept, that you have to be perfect to be chosen. And so you became all those things. You became the person who never asks for help, who always says yes, who apologizes for existing, who makes themselves small so others can feel big. But here's the twist. The people who truly love you don't want the perfect version. They want the real one. They want the messy, complicated, feeling too much version. They want the you that you've been hiding because you thought it was too much. The problem isn't that you're unlovable. The problem is that you've been trying to be loved for a version of yourself that doesn't even exist. And when someone sees through that performance, When someone loves the real you, it feels like exposure, like they've caught you in a lie. Like any moment now, they'll realize their mistake and leave. But what if they don't? What if the person who's showing up right now isn't going anywhere? What if their love isn't a test you have to pass? What if you're allowed to just be? This is where the healing begins, not in finding someone better, but in believing you're worthy of the good that's already here. You have to rewire your nervous system to understand that safety isn't suspicious, that consistency isn't boring, that love doesn't have to hurt to be real. Start small. When someone compliments you, don't deflect it. When someone asks how you're doing, tell them the truth. When someone offers help, let them give it. Every time you do this, you're teaching your body that receiving is safe, that you don't have to earn basic human kindness. And when the panic comes, and it will, don't run. Don't pick the fight. Don't disappear. Sit with the discomfort and remind yourself, this feeling is old, but this moment is new. My past is loud, but my present is quiet. I am safe right now. The person who's showing up for you isn't the person who hurt you. This love isn't that love, and you're not that scared kid anymore. You survived the storm. You don't have to keep living like it's still raining. Let them in. Not because it's easy, but because you deserve to find out what happens when someone finally stays.